Hello and welcome to the weekly oracle reading for the week beginning 11th of August onwards. We're going to tune into our cards right away, okay? Okay, the first card is music and it says harmony. Okay, so I think there is generally a situation which kind of makes us feel as though we're stuck in between the devil and the sea. On one hand, we have our choices of the past, the way we have lived our lives. But on the other hand, we're also having a fear at the same time as to whether it's the right thing to do, or, in general, you have your doubts about things that you're not familiar with. You guys have to place harmony as a priority this week. No matter whatever your questions are at this juncture, just try and focus on harmony throughout this week, because at this point in time all that we can feel is a sense of conviction that probably we should move onward. You will be pushed by people who have been the reason why you've been conditioned to think a certain way. You've come to realization about that. You do have a choice to lose your cool about it, or just know that this is the case and let them go their way. This is not the week for you to kind of rant about things that has gone wrong because of XYZ, whatever that is, okay? Do not push yourself. And they're also giving me an indication that a lot of your general sense of prosperity from here on will depend on a harmonious state of mind, however you create it. This week is actually how being in the middle of transition looks like. And I want you to realize for what it is, and what calls for while you're between the devil and the sea is a sense of self-occupation. Moving on, the next card we have is, forest, and it says breath. Okay, this is a lovely green card and I have been attracting a lot of greenery around me, it seems like. This is actually a natural reflection of the first card, because anything that happens in the mental plane has a natural consequence at a physical plane. Okay, a classic example of that would be that when you tend to take shorter breaths when you are in depression, or when you feel threatened, you sometimes don't breathe at all. Make sincere efforts to harmonize yourself at a physical level and also at a mental level. When you harmonize your mental and physical aspects, then there's nothing that we can invite into our existence which is in disharmony with that harmony. Breath is a medium of transfer of life. We breathe in life, we breathe out life. Pretty much like how forests do, but they do it effortlessly, they just be. But for us, we have certain things that we must do and consider, and all that negative emotion drains so much of energy out of us that it only leaves room for so much of breath in your life, okay? So make conscious efforts to do meditation, yoga, or any relaxation, or even breathing techniques this week. You could even do cardio or aerobics. There is obviously breathing involved there. But the difference between the two is that you could do a cardio where you could think of everything else negative, but your body could keep doing things. And I think in that way, it's more effective to take into something like yoga and meditation, because it's also establishing a positive standard at the mental level as much as at the physical level. Let me tune in a little bit more. I'm getting something here. Okay, they're saying tune into your creativity this week in an uninhibited manner. Okay, just like how we used to do things when we were children. If I wanted to paint a picture, I simply paint it. I don't care about how it turns out. I don't care about how it seems like to others. It's what pleases me. So the idea being that get in touch with that energy or that vibration that makes you feel less inhibited in terms of the way you express, and that doesn't force you to put conditions on what must be. So they're saying be childlike this week, attracting effortlessness through our children or through our relationships. Probably you're attracting people who are kind of makes you feel lighthearted, makes you feel less burdened about everything. Another vibe that I'm catching from this card is that you're better off exploring this creative child energy by yourself. Because cosmically, as much as there's so much of support for the fifth house of self-expression and lightheartedness, it's also aspected by Saturn and Mars. Okay, so there can be people who impersonate that energy that can kind of douse your fire. So do not let them into your playground. If you are discussing your creative projects, you're discussing with the wrong person. Okay, so wait until next week where you will be a little bit more realistic. This week is all about having fun with your creative side. Okay, listen, you have to see this, that as much as it is a time testing our faith, this is also a time where you are given clues as to how to kind of topple this whole negative thing away in your life. So I think this reading is all about that. This clearly indicates that, there's some cheat sheet. This is the cheat sheet. Okay, the next card we have is full moon, and it says completion. Okay, so we had the Aquarian full moon on Sunday, and it was aspected both by Saturn as well as Uranus and Aries. And this has a quality of completion with both these energies in activity, meaning, we have the individualistic revolutionary on one side, and on the other hand we have the realistic army general. Okay, what will be the ideal resolution of these energies? We turn to the first card again. It's all about harmony. We've been asked to kind of idealize our hopes and dreams, the kind of people that we entertain in our lives, with both these aspects or both these energies in mind. Bring in a list where you have the ABC aspects that you wish to idealize on one hand, and on the other hand you have what you'd like to give structure to and what you think will make you feel liberated. Okay, that's how exactly this would look like. That's the only way I can articulate this. Okay, because this is kind of knowing the good things of both these energies and then coming to a conclusion of things we'd like to achieve. It's a wonderful opportunity, because you're not completely being unrealistic at the same time, you're not being unimaginative. And then what will be the result is something that's more realistically potential. Okay? Yeah, they're also saying that take your time to do this. We're not talking about closing a window on an operating system. Okay? This is life. This life works in cycles. So allow things to fade in and fade out. Allow things to do it at their own pace. The best thing you can do is to stay in harmony, be realistic in your expectation, and look forward to a hopeful future. Okay? They're also saying work on this healing and harmonizing thing until the next full moon, which is Pisces, because we started off with Pisces new moon sometime, I think March 1st. And I think it set off something on a very spiritualistic side for us. And I think that will attain some level of completion by next month, where we have the full moon Pisces. Okay? Okay, the last card we have is Lightning, and it says Power. I know we've had this card before sometime in June, but I think we've come a long way, and I think we realize it better, isn't it? If not, I guess I'm sure you will be given an opportunity sometime this week, provided you do things rightly. Alright? Power is a neutral intelligence. I've spoken about this subject a lot of times before. It has nothing to do with applying physical force. It has nothing to do with applying mental force upon yourself either. It is definitely not a consequence of, you applying restrictions or some sort of assumed definition of force. That would be like enslavement, okay? There's no quotient of liberation in that. The secret of force is in the way you effortlessly deal with your intelligence. We're talking about the fine interplay between the forces we just referred to in the previous card. It's not about restriction, it's about structure. It's not about superstition, but it's definitely about imagination. There is an aspect of knowing things for what they are and not allowing those things to define you at the same time. To explore things further and move towards wherever you're being guided. Okay? This is exactly what we must look forward to in this week. And this is also not surprising that power is actually an idealized realization of what we call harmony. Because true power is only exhibited by individuals who are in harmony with themselves and thus in harmony with things around them. You have to be as light as a sponge to absorb water. It's pretty much that. To structure what you do at the same time to be logical and realistic about things. Those are the only time you must work with energies like Saturn, and this is a strong message for you guys. First of all, know what energies you're dealing with, what their pros and cons are, and work with the positive side of those energies and define their job description for them. That's all you need to do. Say that this is where I think you will stop, and this is your role in my life. This is all you get to do. I think that's the kind of conversation you need to have this week, realizing how to blend the positive sides of these forces and then to come to a place where you can manifest it in terms of being empowered. It all looks good on TV, but in reality it doesn't, does it? Quite clearly, this is the end of a cycle of karma, okay? Because all your battle so far has been a power struggle. If you look deeply, you will realize that. Because when you were young, someone robbed you of your power. You spent so much of your lifetime to figure out how to get that power back. Power struggles is at the core of what shackles the foundation of humanity. And if you sort out anything that is related to power struggle is to come to a place of liberation. I wish you well, all the best. Okay, I'll see you again next week. Bye.